Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the basics of the wheel and the packaging. The packaging from Cloudwheels is always top notch. I've always enjoyed the quality and the actual design of their boxes, and it's just very well put together. They also kind of have a quick reference guide on the top of the box to help you operate everything, along with a QR code as well. Now, if you get the entire kit, you got your belts, you got your pulleys, you get your hardware for the pulleys, you got your bearings, the USB-C quad cable that allows you to charge all 4 lights at once, and of course, you got the RGB lights that can attach onto the hub. Now, my particular pulleys are 44T. They're originally for the Evolve Diablo. Now, normally 44T for an AT kit is somewhat small, but keep in mind, these are only 135 millimeters. So I'm assuming Cloudwheels has different size pulleys for every single board. If you check their website, they have different kits for different boards. I just really wish they itemized how many teeth are each pulleys, and the customers can choose each different pulley sizes. They don't really disclose the actual pulley sizes. I wish they did. Okay, now let's talk about the wheel specs. The wheels are 135 millimeter in diameter and 70 millimeter in contact patch. As you can see, it is small and flat. It's a synthetic rubber tire with a PU foam core. So you still have the great attributes of a rubber tire, but the durability of a street wheel. But what really catches my eye is these awesome looking deep dish aluminum core rims. Now, I know the correct term in the e-skate community is hubs, but these look so awesome. I'm just gonna call them rims. I feel like the only deep dish rims that were available in the e-skate community was for the high-end boutique board. So if you had any other 2-in-1 or a street board, you couldn't use those because the rims were for MBS pulleys. And not to mention, they're crazy expensive. Now, the tread pattern and rubber itself really reminds me of the BKB 6-inch tires. However, these are shorter, wider, and airless, so you will not get punctures. They have a wider and more stable grip. They have that lower center of gravity kind of stance rather than tall and narrow feeling. And honestly, the BKB tires, their sidewall was stupid hard. These actually feel a tiny bit more comfortable than the BKBs. Also, no unbalancing, no wobbles, no punctures, a much more enjoyable ride because you're not gonna have to worry about puncturing your tubes. And Cloudwheels told me that the rubber is replaceable. So sooner or later, years down the road, when you finally wear down that rubber, send them an email and they will send you a replacement tire. Okay, so here we go, 2 really popular airless tires. These are Chabord's airless tires. Flipski has these, Meepo has these, and I think a few others. Pretty generic, nothing high-end here. They hold grip fine. They're not really that comfortable, but to me, they're fine. But I know a lot of people will want better than this. That's why these are super cheap. The Cloudwheel 165 Rovers, definitely a better tire. Holds a little bit more grip. It's a little bit more comfortable. But as you can see, the 135s are dramatically wider than these airless tires. So not only are they wider, they're definitely more comfortable, and they definitely have more grip than both of these combined, for sure. Now, here's a little squeezing test. Trying to squeeze and push down the 165 Rover Cloudwheels. Absolutely no give whatsoever. Here's an Evolve 7-inch aired pneumatic tire. Definitely some give in there. Now, here's a new 135 Explorer Cloudwheel. As you can see, it does have some give to it. 100% the best airless AT tire. Now, in a perfect world, I would like this to be about that. Definitely wider than both of these, but not as wide as these. But that's just me being picky. I think most of you riders would prefer a wider tire like this. You want more stability, you want more security, and I get that. So this is definitely much better than basically any airless tire out there. Now, the other airless tire to think about is the Omni E-Skate. I believe that's a 4.5-inch or 5-inch tire as well. I did a review on those wheels. They feel a little bit more plasticky. I don't really like them that much, but I like their width on those wheels. Now, with these plastic pieces, you have the power button and modes to switch from different colors and different patterns. But what's even cooler, how easy it is to just get this on. You see unlock, lock, and unlock again. So all you have to do is kind of just do that and then turn it. And now it's locked in there. There's no kind of looseness there. Nothing is dangling around. Like if I push like this with my finger, it doesn't come loose, so that's good. And it also stays on from these little magnet pieces on each little spoke. And you can see the other side of the magnets over here. And it's USB-C chargeable, so you don't have to change any batteries. Okay, so once this plastic piece is locked in, you have 2 buttons on the plastic piece. Click click the power button and it all turns on at the same time. They're all basically synced up. Then you have 3 different modes along with different colors. So now to the other color. So that's solid. Now this is going to be a breathing kind of mode. You see it go dim and brighter. So that's a breathing kind of mode. And then you have the swirling. And then I click the mode button again, it's on to the next color, and so on. So the green has the swirling and breathing, and then I move on to the next color. The tricky thing is the camera can't really pick up every single color. So we got yellow, you got white, we got rainbow, we got green, purple. It's pretty dang cool. And I believe if you don't touch your board for about 10 minutes, they automatically turn off. And I've hopped off of curbs, I'm riding over potholes, they did not fall out. The only thing is make sure they're locked in, because if they're not locked in, they will fall out. So as long as they're properly locked in, you're good to go. They will not come out. Now, I ran off so many steps and curbs, my entire rear motor mounts became loose and the RGB lights still stayed in. So if you were worried about the plastic pieces popping out, worry no more. As for grip, on a scale 1 to 10, I honestly give these a 9.5. They're damn near perfect. And honestly, I just don't know if anything is perfect. If you're a subscriber to this channel and you watch our content, you do know that I prefer smaller wheels. Smaller wheels give you more control. Having a smaller diameter setup like this and being airless and holding the same grip, if not better, than a dime a dozen pneumatic tire is kind of a no-brainer. Like honestly, why would you not want these tires? As for bad roads / comfort, honestly, on a scale 1 through 10, I give these an 8. I just don't see any airless tire that will be more comfortable than this, have better grip, have a lower stance, have a flatter contact patch, look better than this, have this durability, and this fun technology with the lights. All those other airless tires feel narrow, skinny, hard, so they're not too comfortable and they don't have the best grip. These have the grip, the comfort, and it's impossible to get a flat tire. As for off-roading capability, just like the BKB tires, I really liked how they're kind of this hybrid design. The tread pattern you can feel on the road, but once you're off-roading, you realize that can be utilized for all terrain. So yes, you have a little less clearance because the diameter isn't quite large, but I would give up that tall feeling for a much lower stance that gives me more control, especially off-roading. And again, you cannot get any punctures, so not having to worry about glass, sticks, rocks, nails, or anything else that can puncture your tire, it's a good feeling when riding. You don't have to worry about that stuff. You also don't have to worry about tire pressure and any kind of wobbles from unbalanced rubber. Okay, I'm gonna do an acceleration test real quick. B1 Balrog X with the Cloudwheel 135s, turbo mode, full battery. I told Cloudwheels that I'm gonna use it on the Bamboo Diablo from Evolve, which is obviously a lot more powerful than this. And this pulley system is a 44T. That being said, that's a small pulley system. These are small tires, but I think the pulleys are a little bit small for the tires itself. So I think that this is not gonna have a lot of power off the line. I think it's gonna suffer quite a bit because that's a small pulley. Any all-terrain setup is gonna have less power off the line unless you go for a very big pulley. For instance, the Evolve Diablo is a 66T pulley. Meanwhile, that's a 7-inch tire. This is a 5-inch tire, 44T, so I think the power off the line is gonna suffer, but let's check it out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. So yeah, that definitely suffered off the line. The Balrog is not a fast board to begin with, but that definitely makes it slower off the line. But like I said, those pulleys are actually meant for the Diablo. However, the Diablo standard is 66T, so. Okay, we're gonna do a quick top speed test with the Balrog X full battery, 44T pulleys, 5-inch Cloudwheel Explorers. Let's do it. That felt pretty fast. Let's check the rider app. So with the 44T pulleys on the Balrog X, I got 34.2 miles per hour. Now that's a pretty impressive high speed because the Balrog X is not a high performance board and it's a small all-terrain setup. But like I said, they have so many kits for so many different boards, which is great, but they don't disclose the size of the pulleys and they don't have any other options for the customers to choose different size pulleys for their particular board. Okay, let's do a brake test at 15 miles per hour. 1, 2, 3, brake. Okay, good. I thought it would suffer. It didn't. Could they be a little better? Sure. The brakes didn't really suffer like I thought they would. As for range, the Balrog X is a 12S 3P 666 watt-hour battery. Not tiny, but certainly not huge. Just like the Balrog ZS, I did a range test with the all-terrain setup in the middle of winter, and that same Balrog ZS, but with the direct drive with better free roll, got 15.5 miles with aired pneumatic tires. But now utilizing these new 135 Cloudwheels with 10-degree warmer weather and the same exact battery setup, I got 20.2 miles of range with the Balrog X utilizing these new 135mm Cloudwheels. So on the website, they claim a 15% increase in range as opposed to air pneumatic tires. I think that's somewhat accurate. Final thoughts. So I think Cloudwheel's marketing was really trying to go after the street boards like the Zealots, the X-Way Flexes, the Tiny Ultras, those type of street boards that cannot utilize any all-terrain tires. But now with these, you can. I personally prefer street boards, staying street boards, but of course I respect everybody's style. Now also in that marketing video, we also catch a little air nozzle in one of the tires. So they are making an aired filled tire that is coming soon, but it's not quite ready yet. Now I know the price is somewhat high. I get that. I think it should be a little bit lower, but just like Evolve and Parsec, they're expensive because no one else has this type of product. It's the same situation here. All airless tires are tall, narrow, stiff, hard, have no certain technology to them, plasticky feeling, cheap, and just boring. You want to talk about expensive small tires? Remember the Hoyt 5-inch when they first came out? $500 damn and no one said a peep. They were so damn skinny and small that they can get caught in those little sewer cracks when you ride over them. They also did not last very long. They easily got punctures, and since they were so skinny, they compromised your entire ride. Not with these. These Cloudwheels are wide, durable, very grippy. You don't have to worry about any punctures, and of course the awesome option of the Cloud Neon RGB lights. Honestly, the only downfall I can think with these wheels is that you cannot really see the lights too well when it's really bright out. But if you're in the shade or the sun's going down, the lights pop like crazy. In my opinion, I like it better without the lights. I like that raw, deep dish metal alloy look because it just looks mean and tough. But if you ride at night a lot, I recommend getting the RGB Cloud Neon lights. Thank you for watching, guys. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. Have a good one, guys.